We're here at E. Wilson Morrison. With us is Principal Goodwin. Shane Goodwin.
That's right, Shane Goodwin.
I got it right that time. All right, so the First Lady's coming to visit with us today. Tell us what this is all about.
We're really excited to have her come and visit our school today. The First Lady is coming to visit our 2 preschool classrooms that we have here at E. Wilson Morrison Elementary School and to see and do a variety of things. She has a passion for early childhood education, and we also have Jenny Donovan here today, who is our Director of Preschool. Jenny, would you mind telling our guests a little bit more about why she's coming?
Yes. So as you said, her passion platform is on early intervention and preschool across the state of Virginia. The governor has placed a lot of emphasis on the importance of early intervention and making sure that students are receiving high quality preschool services. She is visiting 15, I believe, preschools in the Commonwealth this year. We are very excited to have her come and visit our Warren County preschools and see the great things that are happening here.
We have with us Donald Lambert from the Northern Virginia Daily. Don, I know you're dying to ask some questions, so I'm sure Linda won't mind if you put some in there on us.
So Jenny, how big is the Warren County preschool program right now?
So through the Virginia Preschool Initiative, we were awarded 92 slots. The state of Virginia tells us how many slots that we have. So that classroom or that program is completely full with 92. Plus we also serve students with disabilities as well in our preschool program. So they range between the ages of 2 and 5. And we are probably serving another 42 students. So the 92 plus the 42, 134 students approximately that are being served in an actual preschool classroom. That doesn't count the students that we are serving itinerantly. So they may be placed in another preschool program here in the county and we go there and serve them, or they are receiving speech and language services as a bring-in student.
So Shane, and this can be for both of you guys, what is the First Lady going to be doing today on her trip at E. Wilson?
She will first be arriving, and we'll just greet her and have our boys and the gentlemen greet her at the door and tell her we're glad that she's here. They have a small gift for her as well. And then we'll escort her to Virginia's classroom, and she's going to actually read a book to that classroom. And then after she finishes spending time with those children, she'll go to Miss Fires' classroom. They'll be engaged in some learning centers, learning activities in small groups, and then we've invited the First Lady to walk around and kind of participate with them in those groups and to spend time in that room. And then she'll leave after that, I believe. But she's welcome to do anything she'd like.
So how big of a deal is it for the First Lady to be involved in the preschool programs?
So I think it's a huge deal. I'm very excited. I think it brings awareness to how important preschool services are, how important early intervention services are, and I think now we have some bragging rights. The First Lady of Virginia is coming to check out the great things that we're doing in Warren County. And our teachers, we have very high quality teachers, and our classrooms are fun, and there's lots of great stuff going on, and our kids are being successful. And it really sets the stage for them to develop those readiness skills, so then when they're able to go on to kindergarten next year, they know what the expectations are. We always try to place children within their home school, so then they learn the routine of the school, they get familiar with the adults in the building, and it just really makes for a nice transition.
As a former kindergarten teacher myself, I would say that the value of an early childhood education is just really massive. We have a number of children here at E. Wilson Morrison who come to school with limited vocabulary and some other challenges that as you prepare for school, we're really working on literacy here and things like that. So her reading to a class is really important. Not only is it modeling an opportunity for reading and why that's important, they actually get to hear it in her voice, which is kind of exciting as well. And Jenny does a fantastic job leading our program. I mean, it's not just a program that you can put things together for and runs itself. She spends a lot of time planning with our teachers, making sure our materials in the classrooms are just what they ought to be, and that best practices, developmentally appropriate strategies are used. And it really has made a huge difference, and we see that impact as those kids go on to kindergarten and then first grade and beyond. That early start makes a big difference. And we were able to extend the year this year to a full day of preschool. Last year the children left, I guess, about an hour earlier than the rest of the children. So this year we want to make that hour really impactful. They participate in music and art and physical education just like all the other children, and they're extending that time for literacy and math, inquiry, and all of those other things. So we expect it to make an even bigger jump, and with the commitment that our school board members have, and then our superintendent and Jenny's leadership, it's been really a wonderful experience for our kids. So we're excited about her being here to celebrate that too with us.
And so the other exciting thing too, just to piggyback on what Mr. Goodwin said, is the fact that our preschool classes are inclusive. So we were able to take our students with disabilities and put them in a classroom with their non-disabled peers, so they have that opportunity. I really pride ourselves on that here in the county, that our students do have inclusive opportunities. They are able to access the same programs, and then they are participating in the specials, which is the music and the art. And so it really does set the stage for when they do come to kindergarten, they are ready with those same expectations. So that's very exciting as well.
How do you guys identify or make these early interventions? I mean, we're talking about kids that are really young. How do you know that they have a disability, or, I mean, how would you all find out about it?
So if there are concerns in any of the areas of development, parents make referrals to our Child Find office, doctors make referrals. Technically anybody can make a referral. So if they have concerns with communication, or sometimes students come to us with diagnoses. So we're looking at, do we think those diagnoses or disabilities would impact them in the educational setting? So a variety of people would make those.
But I guess a
referrals.
lot of them slip through the cracks too. Probably by the time there's probably some to get here, and then you guys, by the time they're ready to kindergarten, you don't catch everybody then, do you? Or is that?
We don't always catch everyone.
And we don't have space for all of them as well, because we have a limited number of spaces.
Is there a waiting list?
What's our number as it's grown over the past few years? Didn't it go from 20 to 50 to 94 this year?
So it has in the years. So when I took over this position, I believe 3 years ago, or maybe 4 years ago. It all seems, it's been a fantastic journey. But when I first started, I think we started out with 25 students. And then the next year, the program expanded a little bit further. Then 3 years ago, I believe, our numbers went to 87. That was the number that the state had provided to us. And then 2 years ago, we had an increase because we had so many students on the wait list. So they granted us some additional slots. And we have been fully full to capacity for the last 3 years. So we started out with the 80. Then for the last 2 years, we've consistently been able to fill 92 slots. We also have Head Start, which they serve an additional 40 students. However, we refer out to the preschoolers that receive the Head Start services through Skyline Cap Head Start.
On a typical class size, like a kindergarten class, how many of the whole Warren County population, how many of those kids have a disability, would you guess, percentage?
I don't even want to guess, because I don't know.
Okay.
How's
I would
Warren
have to pull
County
that up.
compared to other counties in programs like this? Is this pretty standard as far as the number of slots you have?
So Shenandoah County, Frederick County, and Clark, they all have VPI program. Clark County has a smaller amount of slots available. Frederick County, I believe their slots, they have a little more than 100 slots. I'm not exactly sure how many Shenandoah has, but we're pretty comparable. Frederick County, because of their size, is much bigger. They have allotted more slots than we do.
Okay.
And it really does depend on your county size.
How about from the school board's point of view? What do you think?
Well,
First lady's coming. I mean,
that's good. No, her passion for preschool and preschool development doesn't surprise me, because Governor Northam's background as a pediatrician, I'm sure he has seen the need over the years that, early intervention and that type of thing is able to provide. And that's one of the resources that we utilize, is to have the pediatrician's offices refer folks to us and that kind of thing. It's a fantastic program. Mr. Hirsch, who's head of our special services, found the money, the funding, and we've pushed, and Jenny's got out there and beat the bushes and got students, found the students that needed to be found, and got them into us. And it's, early intervention is really the definition. If you can get them in early and get maybe the speech addressed or those types of things, it's an opportunity to let them start as on equal footing with other students.
Also want to make sure that you realize that the United Way is a big part of this as well. And we have Stephen here today, and the First Lady's office has been working with the United Way around the Commonwealth to identify counties to visit, and that's the partner that contacted our school system, is our United Way.
Now, Stephen, the United Way has a pillar of education. We want to expand on that a little bit?
Yes. So one of the 3 pillars for the United Way in terms of our focus areas are education, income stability, and health. Matter of fact, the United Way of the Northern Shenandoah Valley right now, we're starting, we created there's already been this created, but we're starting again to create our community needs assessment for 2020, and that will carry forward 2020 to 2023. One of the pillars of that, it's a really, really great study too. It allows agencies to use it for funding. So when funding needs to be to fund a certain issue, that study allows that to happen. And our United Way, me, and then there's a board member from our United Way, Ed Daly. We're part of that steering committee, so we're very excited about that. Also, just something from personal reference, I was reading a story in my the paper from where I'm originally from, Moorfield, West Virginia, the Moorfield Examiner. They had a very detailed story in there today about what they're dealing with in those schools in terms of mental and behavioral issues. And they work with a counseling service who comes in. But the one thing that they mentioned was early intervention, because this school in particular, the Hardy County schools, were low in terms of averages for mental and behavioral issues. But they suspect there's 1 to 2 in every classroom in any given school where there's issues like this. And the thing that they mentioned, this was coming from the superintendent all the way down to the professional therapist, we're mentioning early intervention. That's a key thing to helping a child get to the place that they need to be in order to contribute to society and succeed in this world. But that's sort of how the United Way is involved, and we're really happy to be involved. I think it's great for the county. I think it's great for the kids. It's a morale booster for the people like Ms. Donovan and Mr. Goodwin. I think it's great that the First Lady, is coming in to highlight this, because it's a very needed area in our world and also in our community, and something is being done. There's hard work being put into this.
Well, the fact that the governor's office has even remembered that Front Royal is in Virginia. What do you think? I mean, I think it's always good. It's a good sign when our political leaders, and especially the governor and the First Lady, show up in our community. You just can't go wrong with that.
Right.
I mean, there's always, regardless of the political side you're on, there's always something positive coming from those are normally non-political.
Absolutely.
These visits are normally non-political.
We're thankful for their commitment to education, for sure. Makes a huge difference.
When you mention about funding, what kind of budget item, what kind of money are we talking about in these kind of programs? I'm sure it's not $1.98. What are we talking about? Kind of have an idea of that, or don't want to comment?
I'm not the budget guy. Rob Ballantyne would be our I know that the funding is very important and very helpful. And like with so many things with the educational program, it's sort of a pass through.
I was going to say, did the state help fund these? And then
Yes, and it's as much as being an old WVU fan, using the term VPI, I don't like to use that, but VPI is real important because the funding is all used for what it's allotted for, and it's able to pass through, and we're able to slot those 94 right now students, and probably more next year, because there are still, as you said earlier, there are still some students out there who we haven't found yet.
Good. Donald, do you have anything else? I know you're dying over there.
No, I got everything I need. You all gave me a lot of information that I needed, so.
Well, we appreciate the Northern Virginia Daily coming, to these events as well. We're not going to hold that back. We're equal opportunists here.
Well, I would like to say to both of you, for Mr. McCool and also Donald, what you all do to help bring out these good stories about things that are happening in our schools, not only right here in our county, but of course around our Commonwealth. I know too, you cover lots of places, but we want folks to understand how hard we work, how passionate we are about their kids every single day, and we treat them like they're our own children. So this program, early childhood intervention, is really important, and this visit today is something we're very excited about, because that's a larger commitment than just our county. It's a commitment from the Commonwealth. So we need to continue that, I hope, and there are more than 90 children who need this program. So we hope that the Commonwealth will continue to fund these programs and help us to make them better. So we're excited about our day with the First Lady.
Well, the First Lady will be here soon, so we'll put this on pause and we'll wait till she arrives.
Wonderful.
All right.
Thank you.
How are you, sir? Oh, it was well, thank you, sir. I'm glad to be here today. Thank you for asking. So nice. My friend David, he's coming up here too. How are you, sir? I'm good. You look so handsome in your jacket. Thank you. This is Northam. So nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you.
Hey, how you doing? Right around.
Nice to meet you.
I love the jackets. You guys are sharp.
How are you, sir? Hey, Northam. It's so nice to meet you. Well, I'll tell you what, this is the best reception I've ever had. All these beautiful gentlemen today.
Nice to meet you.
Holding the doors.
David.
Nice
to meet you. You guys look good. I like
Would you like a moment to collect your things?
I like the coats and shirts.
Oh,
I like
no,
that.
we're ready to go, but I thank
ready?
you for your kind thoughts. How are you, sir? It's so nice to meet you, Mrs. Northam. How do you do, sir? It's so nice to meet you, sir. You look so handsome. All these gentlemen in the judges today. Best reception ever. Thank you. How are you all doing? You're kind to remember. Thank you for coming out.
Yes, good to see you.
Wonderful. Good to see you all. Thank you all for joining us today.
Donald Lambert, I work with Northam.
Oh, wonderful. Pam Northam, thank you all for coming out and highlighting our wonderful educators today. That's so important to us. Nice to meet you all. How are you all doing?
We also have Jim, one of our school board members,
How
is
do
here
you
today
do,
to welcome.
sir? Oh, we sure appreciate our school board. They're so important. Your leadership and support means everything to these young folks. So, thank you. It does take a village, doesn't it?
And then Stephanie Gregg, our assistant principal, is there helping with some students, but she is
That's
here
our
as well.
priority today,
Absolutely.
isn't it? And we always say, let's do what's best for the children.
We do, you're right.
That's our first priority. But this is wonderful. We've got some special posters about ourselves.
We
That's
do.
really neat. Family pictures.
Well, they're excited about getting an opportunity to spend time with you.
Well, we're thrilled. And I just, again, I'm so sorry to make you
Oh, no,
wait.
please, we understand totally.
Oh, we need to give these young men something.
Oh, you do?
I do. So you young men remind me, the governor's in the military. He's an Army man, gentleman. And so he would appreciate that you all look so handsome in your uniforms today. But you did such a lovely job. In the military, there's a tradition. It's called a challenge coin. You know this? And so the First Lady has her own challenge coin for someone who does something very brave or very special. And you all did that today for greeting me here today with your beautiful, polite manners. So it has the state seal of Virginia on the front, which is very official. You can't get that unless you have special permission. And on the back, it has a native Virginia species and some facts about those. So I want to make sure you each have one today. You're welcome. Thank you. It's such a wonderful reception. Would you like to pick a color, my friend? Each of them have a different species in there, so you'll have to see which species yours has on it. You're so welcome. See if I can find another green one here. You're so welcome. Let me see here, buddy. What's another color?
Thank you, Mr.
Oh, good choice. You're so welcome. Such nice manners.
Ma'am, our boys also have a gift for you.
Oh my
Boys, would you like to
goodness!
go over and present it to her?
Wow, gift for me? This is so exciting. What is this? And writing on it. You guys want to read it? You want to read it? It says, thank you for visiting E. Morrison Elementary School. Wow.
This is our Boys and Gentlemen Cup.
Oh, wow. Isn't that wonderful? I love that. Big. I like that acronym. That's wonderful. It says,
Make a big difference at Morrison Elementary School.
wonderful. Well read, everyone. Excellent job. Isn't that lovely?
That's awesome.
Thank you all so much. I really appreciate that. When I drink my tea every day out of this cup, I will think of you gentlemen. What you all want to do when you grow up?
I want to be a cop.
Oh, there you go. Well, you have to talk to our trooper friends over here too.
Military.
Yeah, military. Wonderful.
NBA.
NBA, future ball player. Excellent. No teachers? But you know, you can do all these things and be a teacher.
Yes, you can.
And how about the governor?
That'd be pretty cool.
There you go. Excellent, excellent. We need good delegates and senators and good leaders in state government too. So you can do all these things. No limit for young men like you. So I'm so excited for you all, and I thank you for this. It's great to get a good start in a terrific school like this, right? Well, you guys are going places, I know for sure. So we'll be watching your stars rise. Work hard, right? You'll get wherever you want to go. Listen to your smart leaders. Thank you. I appreciate that. Where are we off to next?
This is the classroom right here that
Oh,
our
it
students
is
are very happy to see
easy.
here, right? They are excited about you.
Yeah, I knew someone was waiting. Oh, happy birthday!
What do you say?
Emma, that's a special day. You know what? It was the governor's birthday too. So you and the governor have almost the same birthday. Isn't that exciting? Well, should we read a story real quick? You think we have time? Oh, I hope so. Let's see if I have anything in here that will help me. I wonder if something we might read a story about. This will give us a hint.
What's this?
Should we let our birthday girl wear the crown today?
Yeah.
Come on, Emma. Let's let our birthday girl wear the crown for a minute today. It's a beautiful tiara. Well, fit in there. Oh, show your friends. Doesn't she look beautiful? I'll let you do it because I don't want to hurt her head. Let's see if I can find something else that might tell us about what our story is about today. What is there? It looks big, doesn't it? It's a magnifying lens. Can you say magnifier? Ooh, but that's not going to help us today. How about
A baby?
a baby? No, that's not right. Well, how about this one? Let me see. Mr. Kitty? What's that? I know they're a nice group of young people, but I'm asking about the story. He's asking, he said, are you all having a good year? Yes, you want to wave at Mr. Kitty? He says, have a great year, everyone. And I think we will read a story about a kitty. But I'm not sure it's going to be the same kitty. Mr. Kitty, will you sit here next to me? I think you'll sit right here next to me while we read about another kitty. Do you know this kitty's name? She's the cat. I thought you might know this kitty. is about Pete the Kitty's first day of preschool. Just like you, yes.
I have a kitty.
Oh, wow. Raise your hand if you might have a kitty at home.
I got this.
Wonderful. Raise your hand if you have a guinea pig in your classroom. You have a guinea pig right back there. Who can tell me the guinea pig's name?
Hazel.
What is it?
Hazel.
Hazel. That's a great name for a guinea pig. That's wonderful. Oh my goodness, today was a big day for Pete the Kitty. He was going to preschool. Who else goes to preschool?
Me.
Wow, what a smart group of students there are today. He jumped out of bed, but he still had on his pajamas. Did anybody wear their pajamas to school today? Well, thank goodness. I still have bad dreams about doing that. You guys ever dream about coming to house in your pajamas? So he cleaned up, he brushed his teeth, he put his nice clothes on, just like you beautiful students. And he thought about, what should I bring to school today? Can you see some of the things he has? What do you think he should take to school?
Scissors.
Oh, maybe some scissors or a pencil? Do you have those things in school? Yes. So he decided to take pencils, glue sticks, and crayons too. And of course, Pete's favorite color is
Blue.
blue.
Blue too.
Yours too? Wow.
Not mine.
No. What's your favorite color?
Pink and purple.
Oh, pink and purple.
I like pink and purple too. I like pink and purple too.
I'm so glad Pete runs to put everything into his brand new backpack. Does anyone in here have a backpack? Exciting. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Kitty. You sit up here with me. He puts everything in his backpack, and now it's time for him to head out the door. What else does he have there? A lunchbox. Do your friends eat lunch at school now? Wow, that's so exciting. Don't forget your snack, says Mama. What is he taking for a snack?
Banana.
That's a healthy food snack, isn't it? Fruits and veggies are a good healthy food snack. Somebody else is there. Who else is with Pete?
His friend.
Hey, it looks like his friend is his brother, Bob. Does anyone in here have a brother or a sister?
I have a sister. Sister for me. I don't.
So Bob helps him to walk out and catch the
Bus.
school bus. Yeah. Raise your hand if you ride the school bus. Wow. Were you scared the first time you rode the school bus?
My mommy takes me sometimes, and I ride the bus sometimes.
Sometimes we do other ways of coming to school. Oh.
I ride on Zoto.
And you have new friends this year, don't you? Did you meet some new friends? Yeah. He walks into his school. He has a beautiful school just like you have. Inside he meets his new teacher who has some really cool glasses. Oh my goodness. And she has a big smile and says, "Welcome to preschool." Isn't it nice when your beautiful teachers are so friendly when you come to school? It sure is. And look how carefully they've decorated everything. My goodness. She reads a story about a mouse who likes, what are those? Cookies. Wow, raise your hand if you like cookies. Me too. Have you read the story about a mouse who likes cookies? That's a good one. And a silly kitty who likes really fun shoes. Next, it's time to paint. And Pete paints he paints himself a blue kitty cat. Wow. Have you ever never seen a real blue cat. No, but it's fun to read about. Time for snack. We have to wash our hands. One of my friends told me once it looks like they're taking a bath. And they're really getting wet, aren't they? Now it's time to sing. Do you ever sing beautiful songs here at school? It sounds like that, doesn't it? And before he knows it, it's time to get back on the bus and go home and tell his friends and his family all about his special day. Hi, friends, will you help me? Are you good helpers? Yes. Did you know, can I tell you a secret? Did you know before you came to school that your beautiful teachers came in before you even got up in the morning? And they worked so hard to put up all these beautiful pictures of all these animals. They helped Hazel, the guinea pig. Hazel, right? They built that wonderful reading hut for you and put up all these great Curious Georges. Oh my goodness, they worked and worked till probably you were after you had gone to bed. And they thought about all the lessons you'd like to learn and the books you want to read. Isn't that nice? Can you help me say thank you? Let's give them a big old round of applause. They're so special. So I have a book for them that I want to give them, and I wrote a special note inside to say thank you, because that's important, isn't it? So we're going to give them that book there. But, oh, wait a minute. Yes, Mr. Kitty? Oh, okay. I almost forgot. He reminded me that I have something for you too. Oops, I forgot I have one more thing for you. You saw it? Well, I have this for our teachers too, which is so much fun. I don't know if you've seen this yet, but it has great science curriculum in it. It has snacks and stories and outside play and lots of fun. I think you'll really enjoy that, because I can tell your teachers are the kind that like to do extra fun things. But Mr. Kitty didn't tell me that. He told me he reminded me that I have something for you too. I wonder what it could be. What do you think? Money. Money makes a jingle sound. It's actually called a coin. Can you say coin? Coin. It's very special. It's a collector's coin, which means it's very rare and special. You can't get it in a bank. Your family doesn't have one. Your friends on the bus don't have one. Only you will have one of these First Lady coins. It's not candy, so we don't put it in our mouth, but it's a special coin with the state seal of Virginia, which is very special. And on the back, it has a flower or an animal. I wonder which one you might get today. And you get to take it home and show your family when you get home today. And tell them how nicely you listen and how big and fast you're growing this year. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. So let's see. David might come help me if he's free, because he likes to hand out the coins too. Have you all read the story No David No yet? Do you know that story? Oh, we have it right in our reading. Well, when you read that silly book, you can think about that was David when he was your age. And they used to have to tell him, no, David, no, when he didn't do things right. But he's done much better now.
Right. You can read about my old days in that book right there. It's a good book.
It is. Say thank you. What do you say now? You're welcome. So many. Wonderful.
Oh, I think I got it.
I want to give each of you different color. You're so welcome. What good listeners I have here.
You're welcome.
You're so welcome. I wonder if you can show your friends what animal you have on yours. Good job, everybody. Did everybody get one? Thank you very much. Thank you all so much. What did you get? You got a crab?
I got this.
Oh, you got a cardinal. That's a cardinal. That's so beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you, and I'm so sorry. Good job, buddy.
Boys and girls, will you say thank you?
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful year, and maybe I can come back and see how much you've grown after a year. Your classroom is beautiful, my friend. Thank you. I can't tell you how much we appreciate you doing this. Thank you, sweetheart. You are superhero. Wonderful, friend. Thank you so much for having me today. Oh, thank you. Where's my birthday girl? Thank you for letting me borrow that bag. I hope you have a happy birthday.
Oh, I like your coin.